All right. So continuing on with 3-3 notes. This one here, continue to solve systems of inequalities. So sometimes you've got some things written a little differently here. So number 4 says y plus 1 is less than negative x. But let's continue to kind of think it through the same way as we did before. Is it going to be a solid line? Is it going to be a dashed line? This one here, because of your symbol right here, there's not a line underneath it, so we know it's going to be dashed. The second one there, y is greater than or equal to 1. We know that it's got a line underneath it, so that's going to be solid. So that first equation there, it's up to you how you want to do that. In this case here, I might put it in y equals mx plus b. It just looks easier in this case. So I'm just going to bring my 1 over. So I end up getting y is less than or equal to negative x minus 1. So now if I were to graph that out, I can see my y-intercept there is negative 1. And my slope there is negative 1 over 1. So I'm going to come down 1, run 1, come down 1, run 1, come down 1, run 1. And connecting those, we said this was dashed. And then shading it in, I got to pick a point on the line. So 0, 0 is not on that line. So 0 plus 1 there is 1 is less than 0. Is 1 less than 0? No, 1 is not less than 0, so I'm not going to shade on the side where 0, 0 is. I'm going to shade on the opposite side of the line. So our next one there, we got y is greater than or equal to 1. Now all we have is a y. Whenever you have a y here, it's going to be a horizontal line. There's no x in this at all. So all my y values there are equal to 1. So I can come over here to 1, and I can, or come up here to 1, and I can draw a horizontal line through it. It's got to be solid. So now I got to decide which way to shade it in. And again, I got to pick a point that's on the line, like 0, 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to 1? No, 0 is not greater than or equal to 1, so I'm not going to shade on the side where 0, 0 is. I'm going to shade on the opposite side. So I might have to extend this out here a little bit. And I can see the overlap is going to be in this little section up in here. So there's my solution for that one. And then this one here, you just got an X in this one, but kind of thinking through the dashed or solid lines for this one. So again, there's no equals underneath this one, so it's got to be a dashed line. This one here has got an equals under it, it's got to be a solid line. And then this first equation up there does not have a y, and all it has in it is an x. So since that's true, we're going to end up with a vertical line. Vertical line is just going up and down. Horizontal line goes left and right. So I need to do a vertical line there at negative 2. So negative 2 is over here, and then a vertical line through it. It has to be dashed. And then I got to decide where I'm going to shade in. I'm going to pick the point 0, 0. So is 0 greater than negative 2? Yes, 0 is greater than negative 2. So I'm going to shade on the side where 0, 0 is. And then my other one here is almost in y equals mx plus b form. So I'm just going to continue putting it in there. I just got to divide everything in here by 2. When I do that, I get y is greater than or equal to 3/2 x plus 3. Now, when I divide everything in here by 2, I did not switch the inequality sign. It didn't become less than or equal to your inequality sign right here. I didn't switch it around because I did not divide here by a negative. If you divide everything in there by a negative, or multiply everything in there by a negative, you switch that inequality sign. If you don't, then you just keep the same in the same direction, which is what I did. So graphing that out, my y-intercept there is at 3. And then my slope there is rise over 1, so rise 3, run 2, rise 3, run 2. Connect my points, and it's got to be solid. And then I got to pick a point on the line, and like I said, I like to pick 0, 0. So 0, 0, so is 0 greater than or equal to 3/2 times 0, 0 plus 3 is 3. So is 0 greater than or equal to 3? No. So I'm going to shade on the opposite side. And I can see where the overlap is. It's over in this little portion right there, up in that little portion up there. So one more of those types. This one here doesn't have it doesn't have a plain number in it, but we can still work through that. So doing that there, we're going to go ahead and get rid of this 3 over here. And I get y is greater than 4/3 x. And remember, I'm just going to put a plus 0 over here. I can always do that. So kind of looking at these lines this time because of the symbol there, I know I'm going to have a dashed line. Because my symbol there is no line underneath it, I know I'm going to have another dashed line. So 2 dashed lines this time. At first one there, I'm going to start here at my y-intercepts here at 0. I'm going to rise 4, run 3, rise 4, run 3. And when I connect it, it's got to be dashed. And this time I'm not going to pick the point 0, 0 because that line went through 0, 0. So I'm going to pick something else. Maybe like that 3, 1, like I picked before. So if I pick the ordered pair 3, 1, 3, 1, is 1 greater than 4 times 3 here is 12 divided by 3 here is 4. So I get 1 greater than 4. Is 1 greater than 4? No. So I'm not going to shade on the side where 3, 1 is. I'm going to shade on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and plot my other one here. This one here, I might choose to use the cover-up method. I'm going to set equal to -6 here. And then I'm going to make my line dash. So if I use the cover-up method, I'm going to cover up the y's. I get 2x equals -6, divide by 2, and x is -3. And then I can go and now cover up x's this time. So I can divide by -3, and y is 2. So plotting those, I've got a y at 2, and I've got an x-intercept there at 1, 2, 3. Connecting those, and it's supposed to be dashed as well. So then I have to decide how to shade it in, and this time I'm going to pick the point 0, 0 because that line does not go through 0, 0. So plugging that back in the original one here, the left-hand side I get 0. Is that greater than -6? Yes, 0 is greater than -6. So I'm going to shade on the side where 0, 0 is, and that's over here. So the overlap ends up being this little portion over in there. So now we have graphed out all 6 of our inequalities there, so continue to work at those.